the Ring Fanatics Podcast, episode number 28. I'm Nick, your host. With me, as always, my co-host Joel. 28 episodes deep, and as always, if you are listening and not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. I know the people out there who are not subscribed that listen to this, so make sure you subscribe to that YouTube channel. Follow us on Spotify. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, any platform that we can find us on. Go follow us there and support us. Uh, it's almost 2 weeks at this point. It's Thursday, March 25th in the afternoon. So it's almost less than about 2 weeks, a little bit over 2 weeks, maybe a little bit under 2 weeks until WrestleMania season. Well, not WrestleMania season, sorry, WrestleMania season, but until WrestleMania week is what I meant.
Yeah,
WrestleMania
baby.
Week. Yeah, so
It's almost here.
It's almost here. But the 3 months of this long wait, and it's finally here. That week is one hell of a week. Let me tell you that. In terms of wrestling, not just
the lineup they have
yeah.
is ridiculous. Not only in WWE, but just everywhere. Just ridiculous.
And the week after too. The week after is pretty fucking amazing. But the week beforehand, it starts off with Monday Night Raw, obviously. But then the day after that, on Tuesday, I believe it's April 6th, it's the WWE Hall of Fame. Both Hall of Fame classes, class of 2020 and 2021, will be inducted the same night. Just a reminder, as I remember at the top of my head, the class of 2020 is, well, Batista is said on Twitter he's not going to be in this year's Hall of Fame due to obligations, but it's the Bella Twins, NWO, JBL, British Bulldog, and I believe Jushin Thunder Liger. Then this year so far, Molly Holly, Eric Bischoff, and then yesterday it was Kane and the Great Khali. 4 people announced so far.
How do you feel about this year's list?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you the same thing. Like, I so far I like it. I know what you're thinking. I can see what you're thinking.
What am I thinking?
What you're thinking.
What am I thinking?
You're not happy about Khali, aren't you?
I don't give a fuck about Khali. Yeah. What has he done? What has he done?
Okay, wait. So for me, I was gonna say this is arguable. This could be arguable because I honestly, in my opinion, I don't mind it. I don't mind him in the Hall of Fame. Okay. But at the same time, I could see why people are upset about that, or not upset, but like are confused about it.
I'm just confused. I don't. Yeah. I'm not like upset, but also I know that he did like a lot with the community and stuff like that. So.
Exactly. So yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like, I know people like, because there was like a great 2 or 3 year time that Khali was good, and after that it was just like they didn't really use him.
When he was facing Undertaker, it was a great matchup. Like,
exactly.
Was like,
and I think he really does much, and like as you say, he does a lot with the community. So especially in India, he's done a lot over there. Like he's done a lot with like training talent. I think he's played a huge part in like with the Indian talent in WWE right now.
He's played a huge part in that, and also even just bringing WWE to India back in the day, like in the late 2000s, because he was such a big name, everybody wanted to see him. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I think he really broke the barriers. I don't want to say barriers. I mean, like, you know, he really made wrestling huge over in India.
Yeah, and I would say that. I would use that word.
Yeah, and he's played a big career with Jinder Mahal, former WWE champion, right there.
Yeah,
that was his first feud when Jinder Mahal got there. Was Khali, and Khali returned and helped him during his WWE title reign too. So it's like, without Khali, would there really be a lot of people from India coming through? Be like, oh, Khali inspired me to do this, do that, whatever.
So I feel but like, how many Indian wrestlers do we have on the main roster?
It's starting. And I get it. Yeah, I know, but it's like, I feel like he's played a huge part with them. It's gonna be huge soon. I feel but
and then they brought the network over there. They did the big shows, the Crown Jewels over there. So it's a big thing happening.
Exactly, and you have the Superstar Spectacle that happened recently. I think
he
played a part.
That's what it was. It wasn't Crown Jewels, Superstar.
Yeah, that one. Yes, yeah.
Crown Jewel was in Saudi Arabia. It was Superstar Spectacle.
Yeah,
whatever it's called.
So I feel like he's played a huge. I think he's played a huge part. People don't really realize it, but I feel like he's played a huge part in India and WWE. I think he's like their brand ambassador or something.
Yeah,
something like that.
Some shit.
Yeah, he has a title there.
I get it. Just personally, I was like, when I saw it, I was like, random. Why?
Yeah, it was
okay.
It was. But
because there's like a lot of people that could be in there. It was like, oh, Great Khali. It was like,
there's some people where like they think of that could potentially have a Hall of Fame career. They're like, you know what, let's just get it out of the way and just put this person in there. Even though, you know, you have Bischoff, Molly Holly, and Kane in there now. I think all of those people are supposed to make him look cool in the Hall of Fame class. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, we have these guys, and this is Great Khali right there, and then just throw him in there. Yeah, and it's if you surround him with other names in the Hall of Fame, it's like, okay, it doesn't look as bad. Just Khali's in there with that group. So it's, I mean, it's like I said before, it's arguable that there's a reason why he's in there. I can see why people don't want him in there. Not don't want him in there, but confused about that. But at the same time, I feel like he should have had something in there. But mainly what I wanted to talk about today was, because at first, before yesterday, I wanted to talk about everyone else in general, but who should be in this year's Hall of Fame. But they announced them to yesterday, and then that got me thinking. Like, there's usually at least one tag team / stable that's in there. That they usually do one of those tag team stables every year. Like last year's NWO, the year before that, I believe it was DX. This year they haven't announced it yet, but like I said, this is also a recorded Thursday afternoon. At this point, when I release this, they could probably be a tag team announced already.
You never know.
Yeah, you never know. So I feel like, as of right now, as we're recording this, there's no tag teams in it yet. So I guess we can start with you. In your eyes, who should be in the 2021 Hall of Fame class as a tag team / stable?
It's tough.
It
because the tag teams, for some reason, there's always hard feelings with tag teams. One will become a star, the other one kind of fades away, and then kind of goes off and does their own thing, and like they do like I would love for like the Hardys, Edge and Christian, like give them their flowers while they're here. You know what I mean? Like you did to the Dudleys. You did it to the Dudleys. They won't do that because of where he's at right now.
Oh, hell yeah.
But I feel like they could have done it in the past, and it's kind of fucked up that they haven't done it because of that. Those are two big tag teams that like paved the way for tag team wrestling today.
Hell yeah.
Like, of course, you the 90s, like the Hart Foundation, the Steiners, you have all these great tag teams, but that tag team division in the early 2000s was incredible. I think you gotta give them their flowers, especially that they're alive and they're all healthy. Like this is the time to do it.
Yeah.
You always put aside company drama. You know what I mean? Like, I never understood that. That was like, oh, they can't induct him yet because he's not working for the company. And it's like, does that really matter right now?
Yeah, that is true. I mean, because I feel like
how you feel about that?
I feel like with those teams, like as you mentioned, with Edge and Christian and the Hardy Boys, especially for the Hardy Boys, they're still. I mean, both teams are still technically wrestling, even though Edge is already a Hall of Famer. But that was back when he first retired and thought he couldn't compete anymore. But you have Christian, who still wanted to wrestle at one point. He's back down in AEW. You still have Jeff on the main roster, been on the main roster since 2017. I mean, on company, and then you have Hardy, the other Hardy, Matt Hardy on AEW. Not saying anything about the drama part, but like they're still wanting to wrestle. So I don't think they would want to be considered Hall of Famers just yet until they finish their careers.
You have
more. They want to accomplish more before they consider themselves Hall of Famers.
I feel you, but I do feel that like you.
What's that?
I do feel
that was weird. That was.
I was like,
what the hell?
I do feel like the company thing does play in, but I feel like you could have done it earlier. It's kind of it's tragic that they didn't do it earlier. Like, Christian should be in the Hall of Fame by himself. He should have got it the year after he retired. That's how I feel about Christian. You know, I'm a big Christian guy.
Yeah.
So I think he should have been in the Hall of Fame. I think they should have put him in with Edge as a tag team also. And then also for the Hardys. Like, even though you're still wrestling, aside that you're going to the Hall of Fame, you know what I mean? You already cemented your legacy. Now that whatever you do now just adds on to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When Edge retired the first time, he was a Hall of Famer. He went to the Hall of Fame. Now it's just adding on to that resume. Same thing with Christian. He retired. From that moment that he retired, I looked at his career. I said, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Now, whatever he does after, now that he's back, this is just adding on to the legacy.
Yeah.
I don't think that it matters that they're still wrestling and wanting to prove themselves here, because I feel like they've already proved themselves. You know what I mean? They was in that company for a while. You know what I mean? They signed in 98. Both teams were in 98. And then
early 2000s, 20 plus years ago.
Yeah, and then I want to say Edge and Christian, they retired both maybe like in 12 and 13, like around there,
10 years
right?
Ago. Like not even 10 years ago. I think 2014.
So,
I think 2014 was the last time Christian was there. So
2014, right?
I believe so. Yeah, because I remember. No, was it 2014?
Might have been
somewhere around it. Yeah, somewhere around those 2 years.
But
I remember seeing a picture of like Big E and then Christian going at it. That was supposed to be his last match.
Oh yeah.
And then his injury happened and he retired right there. So then that's what I was saying.
Right there, like even to 2012, 98 to 2012, and what they did for your company, right there, just what they've done, what they did from 98 to 2002. That's Hall of Fame right there.
Yeah.
They just added on to their legacy, becoming single stars, winning championships. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like those are like the guys that definitely should be in there. But right now it won't happen because of all the tension and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who would be your top like tag team?
There's so many. I mean,
so many.
Besides those we just mentioned, I mean, I feel like the Steiner brothers aren't even in the tag team Hall of Fame yet. They're not even in it yet. I mean, like I feel like
they're not in it, right?
No, I don't think so. I looked it up yesterday. I don't think they were in the Hall of Fame. Like they're also one of those tag teams even before Edge and Christian that were expired tag teams. I mean, like, a lot of tag teams now, or even in the last 5-10 years, are kind of fit their style a little bit. Like we mentioned once in a previous episode, I think it was our dream match episode, where we said like Gable and Jordan were kind of reminded us of them, and teams like FTR, all the great matches they've had in the past, and like all those things are based off of, like, I don't want to say based off of the Steiners only, but like they remind a lot of people of the Steiners.
Yeah,
and I feel like they've inspired a lot of tag teams today. So I feel like if that's not already, besides what they've accomplished in terms of a tag team in wrestling, then I don't know what will get them in the Hall of Fame. And we also have a team kind of like, I don't think the Nation of Domination is in the Hall of Fame either.
No,
I don't think they
should be put in as a faction.
Exactly. I mean, the only issue, I don't want to say issue, but the only thing that probably keeping them back as a group, which I don't really think it should be an issue, is the fact, you have Farouk, Godfather, and Mark Henry, you have The Rock in there. I think they're gonna wait till they get The Rock by himself first, until they do all four of them, because I think The Rock has a legacy where it's like, would you rather have him inducted first as an individual or as in a group? I think
but that's also like, how haven't they put him in yet?
I know, exactly. That too. Yeah. I mean, I think they're just waiting for a right time, because technically he never retired from wrestling. Yeah. And I know, like you said before, it's just based on what he's done already. It's already Hall of Fame worthy, and you don't have to wait till he's done to consider yourself a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, exactly. I think you should celebrate the people while they're here. Like, they're here. I want to hear them give a speech. I like hearing those speeches. I think it's awesome. I hate when we're not able to, like, you still get some kind words from family, but it's not the same.
Yeah. So that's why, like, I'm thinking for that group, I think they're waiting until they induct The Rock first, until they do all four of them together.
Because I can see that.
Same thing with, like, I was gonna say Evolution, also inducted into the Hall of Fame, but then, like I said, you have Batista, who didn't want it wasn't able to get inducted this year, so I don't think they would be inducted this year either. Yeah. And plus with Randy, it's like, again,
he's still doing his thing, but also, I don't know, it's tough.
Also, someone you could say that if they retire today, they would also be a great, like, their career already has been a Hall of Fame worthy career. And same thing with Triple H. Triple H hasn't been inducted by himself yet either. So I think that's why they're waiting.
To be honest, I don't think he ever will be.
By himself?
I don't think he ever will be. As long as he's alive, he will never give himself Hall of Fame.
I think so, because
I don't think he would.
I think because with the amount of work he's doing with NXT, why wouldn't you put him in the Hall of Fame? I feel like
he should be in the Hall of Fame for just before NXT.
I mean, like, I'm not saying just NXT, but like before that. But like, if they, I mean, like, I think they're just waiting for a certain point because even, in my opinion, I think just his work alone in terms of his singles career as a wrestler and as what he's done at NXT is both Hall of Fame worthy on its own, in my opinion.
I think I don't think he'll ever go in while he's alive.
I think so.
Especially that he, like, from what I hear, like when you hear interviews and stuff, and they're always like, "Oh yeah, I talked to Hunter and he told me I'm going into the Hall of Fame." So it looks like he's the one that like sets it all up. He will never put himself, even though his character is so cocky and full of himself, he would never put himself in the Hall of Fame by himself. It would have to be like a Vince call or something.
Because maybe, I think it's gonna be like a surprise moment. Like he's not gonna.
It would have to be, yeah.
Like Vince does it on his own. Vince, Stephanie, Shane all agree on it. Like, oh, you're going to the Hall of Fame this year.
That's like Vince would never like celebrate himself. You know what I mean? Like, it's just.
Are you telling me that Vince doesn't want to put his son-in-law in the Hall of Fame by himself? Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done it. He's always in it with DX, but like, if he could do Shawn Michaels on his own, like you could do Triple H on his own.
I love when I see people have it go in twice.
Yeah. Like Flair has done it.
Shawn has done Michaels, it.
Yeah, and I think
Shawn. I personally, Shawn should get 3. Because as we're talking about the tag teams right now, I would put in the Rockers.
I was thinking the same exact thing, man.
I would put in the Rockers. They were like the first. They were like the first tag team that was like doing all the moves that were like not typical tag team moves. They would look like cruiserweights. You know what I mean? It was back in the day. Tag teams are more hard hitting, and they look like teams like the Steiners and look like the Hart Foundation teams that were heavily built. And they were 2 young guys flying around the ring doing all these moves that were innovative, and they were just different. They kind of paved the way for, as we talked about earlier, the Edge and Christians and the Hardys and the Young Bucks and all these other teams that have that same style.
Yeah. So like, and there's
not man, get those 3 rings, baby.
Yeah, get 3 rings, 3-time. No one's ever done that first time ever.
That'd be crazy.
I mean, I feel like there's a lot of like I mentioned, there's so many people who should go in as in a Hall of Fame in terms of just not wrestling. You know, like like Regal. And I'm not saying he should be like not there yet, but like Regal, I think he should be a Hall of Famer soon, eventually, based on what he's done and the impact he's had with as a career as a wrestler. And after that, with NXT.
Yeah, NXT, just everything all together. Yeah, that was my guy, William Regal, with the brass knucks. And then once he took over NXT, he started doing his thing as the general manager. I love seeing him in that role.
It's an iconic thing. Yeah. So it's like, that's what I said about Triple H too. Like, you could base it off of his time in NXT. He literally built NXT.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't, without him, literally NXT wouldn't be as good as it is today. So it's just, that's why I feel like he should be in the Hall of Fame soon. I think at some point that will happen on his own, where it's like maybe like a takeover or some type of NXT show. They surprise him like, "Hey, you're a Hall of Famer now." Like the superstars come out and say it or some shit like that. Something where they do it live on television instead of just announcing it as a video.
Yeah, that would be dope. I've always wished you got like the reaction of them like, "Yo, going to the Hall of Fame," but like, what?
Yeah, no, because he used to do it like just the vignettes and shit. And that's it.
Yeah, and then, which that used to be dope as hell. Yeah. I hate that they leak it now. Well, not leak it, but like
this year they've done it on the bump. Most of it was on the bump, so you kind of got all their reaction.
Who watches the fucking bump though? You know what I mean? At least like when it was live, they were like, "Yo, we're announcing the next person going into the Hall of Fame." They would show the vignette. They would show the crowd going crazy. They would show like they would put their picture up. Like it was a cool moment. Now, like. Even I think it started like 2 years ago. That was like ESPN will alert you at noon on a Monday. They would still show the video later in the day, but you already knew who was going in.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like it was cool when they were like,
I mean, there's no crowd at the moment, so it's kind of like it's hard to do it that way. So
I feel you.
So I think it makes sense to do it through some type of thing. We should announce a Hall of Fame.
I
We should announce
guess.
Hall of Fame. Announce it on the show. We could release it tomorrow.
Yo, we got the scoop, baby.
Yeah, we get the scoop. Let's go.
But there's so many people. Now, question, because you were talking about the Nation of Domination earlier today.
Yeah.
Earlier today, a few minutes ago. Like we were doing this show for hours.
Yeah, we just started.
A few minutes ago, you talk about Nation Domination.
Yeah.
I say Nation should go in because all of them deserve it, but also because it's a sneaky way of getting in one of my favorites of all time without like having to get an okay. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Like, you know, I'm talking about Owen Hart. So, like, you know how they always got beef with the wife.
Yeah.
If you put him with the group, is that okay now? Do you still need to get the okay from her?
I think. See,
because he wasn't a big part of the group, but he was part of the group.
I don't think they would have to specify like who of the group is getting inducted. I think it would be just like, the main four: Rock, Henry, Farouk, and Godfather just doing the talking. But I guess you could induct the name Nation and Domination, where it includes everyone,
all the members,
but you only see the main four. You know what I mean? In a way,
yeah.
It's like DX.
Well,
DX,
you wouldn't be able to see him anyway.
Yeah, I mean, like the rest of them, not Owen.
No, yeah, I know.
Yeah. So like DX, like there was. I mean, you only saw Billy Gunn, X-Pac, Michaels, Triple H, but they included China in there. You know what I mean? So it's like it makes sense to do it that way. It's like, it's all of us and not just us four.
But that's why I'm thinking, do you still have to get the okay by the wife to put him in there? That's tough, right? You would probably have to, right?
Yeah.
And I felt like that's a sneaky way to get him in and be like, haha, he's in the Hall of Fame, baby.
But wasn't he at one point also part of the Hart Foundation?
Yeah, and that's another group. That's another group that deserves to be there as a group.
They're in it.
No, not the Hart Foundation.
2019. There was just Bret Hart and Jim Neidhart.
Yeah, them two.
Yeah.
Just them two. But they should have, like, I argued back then when they put in just them two. I said they should put the group, like Pillman, Bulldog, and Owen. Put all of them in. But they put the foundation having to need a tag team for that year. So he used the Hart Foundation tag team instead of the Hart Foundation, the faction.
I think
they should have did the faction.
Because it was just the OG two of them. I mean, the two most standout ones, not saying that the rest of not standoutish, but like they were the two that people think of when you hear the Hart Foundation. And there's a family behind it, but
I don't know. Every time I think of the Hart Foundation, I go straight to the faction. Yeah. I think straight faction, but also that's just what I know. You know what I mean? Like I follow that era more than I watch early 90s stuff. Like I watch everything, but like what I more resonate with is the Hart Foundation feuding with Austin and feuding with, you know what I mean? Having all these feuds, feuding with DX. You know what I mean? It was just that time. You know what I mean? It's the Hart Foundation, man.
There's a lot of like past tag teams that like you can induct, but like you also have, let's say if like you don't include those two eras, right? What tag teams from the 2000s can you include besides the ones you already mentioned, like Edge and Christian? Dudley's already in it, Hardy Boys. Like there's not really much after that. Let me ask you that. Who would you say besides those three from the 2000s?
Los Guerreros.
Ooh, yes. Did not think of that one. Wow.
Los Guerreros would be in there. The world's greatest tag team, Shelton and Charlie Haas.
With Kurt Angle or just without Kurt Angle? I feel like without Kurt Angle. Without. Because I was going to say like without Kurt Angle, I think you should include him in there.
You think so?
Yeah.
Think he deserves the second ring?
I think it should be the faction. I would give him the second ring. I would give him, but then you all obviously focus more on Shelton and Charlie Haas.
Yeah. They'll focus more on Kurt.
Yeah.
That's why I said just put them together and it'll be.
Yeah, cool. I wouldn't mind either one actually. Like without Kurt, I wouldn't mind that. You could just have him induct them, or just like be the one introducing them into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, exactly. You have him introduce them.
Yeah,
and then that's awesome. I think that would be dope. There's other tag teams that didn't play a big part, but in that era, like they were pretty successful. You know what I mean? Like Paul London and Brian Kendrick when they were tagging up together. They did pretty good. There's other. I'm trying to think of the tag teams during that time that like are really like Hall of Fame worthy, because of course you had tag teams, but a lot of them were just made up. If you think about Jericho and Christian, Kane and RVD, who else? I'm trying to think. Benoit and Kurt Angle. Yeah, Brothers of Destruction. There's just so many tag teams that were just like, put them together. There wasn't a lot of tag teams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is true.
At the top of the list, I would put Los Guerreros. I think put Eddie in the second time. Put my son Chavo in there. Let's do it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm down with that team.
Kerwin White. Kerwin. Yeah, that would agree with that. I mean, there's even a lot of tag teams till this day that would put in the Hall of Fame that are still wrestling.
Yeah.
There would be a few of them in there. You have the New Day. I would consider in a Hall of Fame or tag team already.
Just what they're up to? 11. We were talking 11, about the other day. 11.
Like they're tag team. Like they could win 10 more. I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, they're just they're that group right now.
Yeah,
that it's the New Day. It's the New Day show.
It's different when Charlotte does it, but it's different when the New Day do it too. So it's like Charlotte, like please don't put her. Yeah, it's different.
It's different. And then that time, like, what is Charlotte up to right now?
I think 12.
She's up to 12, but that was that one summer that her and Sasha switched it like 6 times.
Half her title reigns, exactly. Half her title reigns were like based off months.
Every other Monday, one of them was winning it. It was like, what are y'all doing?
So so like half her title reigns weren't like supposed to be actually legit, and they gave her that SmackDown Tag Team Championship a week before Mania 2019, just to have Becky beat her for it. Like,
don't even.
So a lot of them were just given to her just to lose it. So it's
which is weird. Which is weird. So but that means I guess they trust her to put on a good show and make that person believable.
That's what I was thinking too. Like just doing it just to help other people grow.
That's how that's how I gotta look at it when people get a belt and then they just take it away from them. Like it's like, it's to help them make help them make them look believable.
She's that person who would help the women's division grow right now. I think you do have like Becky and Sasha Bailey who started with her.
Yeah.
But I think she's like the veteran, so to speak, even though we have Natalya, Tamina in it, and Mickie James. Like she's the one to help out the other younger talent while the other 3 continue on growing, so to speak. So I think I don't want to say they're giving up on her, but like she can
no. And they will never give up on her.
But they trust her to help her build the division.
And then and right now losses won't
affect her.
Losses are not hurting her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's somebody that's already built up. If she retired today, she will be in the Hall of Fame in 2 years. Trust me. Like,
they would do that for her.
But who would you put in as a single star?
Today?
If they say, we got one more spot for the Hall of Fame this year, who's the one person you're gonna go to bat for and be like, this is the person that should be in it?
Okay, so this person is a female superstar. I'm gonna do one female, one male superstar. The female for superstar actually has been doing a lot in 2021 in WWE. We've seen her a lot. Victoria.
Okay.
That would put her in the Hall of Fame.
I like that pick. That pick.
Not like she's like, I think they've already gotten a lot of women from like the 90s and 80s already in it, if I'm not mistaken. I wasn't really big. I wasn't really big on wrestling during that time. I didn't really follow that era, so I wouldn't really know who else is not in it from those eras. But I think from the most recent time, from the 2000s on, I think she would be one of the most recent ones, unless you do like Michelle McCool or like somebody from mid 2000s on. But I would think Victoria would be the most fitting one because she's been active recently. I thought that's why she's been active recently, because they were planning on surprising her. In a way, I was like, oh, she's been recent. Also, people won't forget. Yeah. So like kind of like in a way where people don't forget her. Like, oh, once they see her, they'll be like, oh, she's also done this in the past and that, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, it refreshes people's mind before we announce it of what she's done, kind of thing. So maybe they will. Maybe they, it's still a little bit over a week away, I believe. I'm not sure what week it is at this point, but like I feel like they could potentially put her in there. I think if they don't do another male superstar, then maybe they'll do her in there. Put her in there.
That would be
with
dope.
Molly Holly. For the males side of it, I was gonna say RVD because a lot of people are putting him in there now. I think he might be confirmed for it. I don't know.
When you texted me about this idea, that was the first person I thought of.
Yeah, I know. Because
and then
I've been seeing
all these
lot.
rumors came out. It was like RVD. I was like, I knew it.
I knew it. Because there were talks about him returning recently. I don't know if it's still true because to see that still, but I mean that. So I guess that's why they would put him. But that's what I was gonna say, but I'm not gonna say him now because of that. Because that'll be like an obvious choice.
Yeah.
To say. Who else as a singles competitor that they could throw in there? I mean, because there's always that one person that's gonna headline the Hall of Fame class, and based off of what we see now, like we have, Kane, Cully, Molly Holly, Eric Bischoff. You could say Eric Bischoff, but also Kane. We don't know. I mean, last year we had look at last year's class: Batista, Bella Twins, NWO, Liger, JBL, British Bulldogs. That's a strong class. Exactly. Exactly. Not saying this year's is weak. I'm not saying this year's is weak.
Oh, I'll say it for you. This year is kind of weak. I'll say it for you.
Didn't want to say that.
Kali made it weak. I'll tell you that right now. Kali made it weak for me. Kane, I was hyped. I was like, let's go, baby.
Hell yeah. I was hyped for Kane.
Then they said, Kali too. I said, they're just giving it to anybody now.
I can't wait till that induction when Undertaker. I hope Undertaker does some shit like that. I hope
that would be dope. Yeah.
I mean, he already announced it, so I might as well fucking put him as the induction.
Yeah, that's the person to do it.
See, in terms of anybody else who would be as a singles competitor, that's tough to think about.
From any era.
Oh my god, I can go back for this.
That's so much. There's so many people.
Yeah. Oh, I'm trying to think of people like who can go back that far. I'm just right now. I'm just thinking of like early 2000s people.
Think of early. Yeah, that's fine too.
I mean, they haven't really done anybody from the 90s because mainly everyone.
Who for you personally that you're like, I don't know how he's not in yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say Christian, but I don't think this year's not gonna be the thing for him.
Oh no, but in a perfect world,
you gotta give me time to think about this. You gotta give me time. Okay, you go for it. You go first until.
Okay, I'll do just like you. I'll give one woman, one man. The woman, Jazz. Even though she's in TNA right now, she did so much.
Did not know I thought she was in it. I could have sworn she was in it already.
I don't think she is. Is it?
I could have sworn she was in it. I may be wrong. I think it might have been Jacqueline. I think it might have been Jacqueline I'm thinking of. I think I might have been thinking of Jacqueline.
Yeah, I know Jacqueline is in there.
I could have sworn I remember Jazz being in it.
Was she? Let's see.
Could be wrong.
Nah, I don't see it.
Okay, so Jazz.
Nah, so I think she deserves to be in there. I think she's one of the top people in there that should be in there.
Yeah, same here.
For the male, I got two people. So I got two people I could pick from. I have, and they're both ECW guys.
I was thinking of ECW guys right now. Actually, I was just thinking.
I don't know how Tommy Dreamer right there. That I don't even have to tell you why. You already know why.
Yeah.
And just what he's been doing for the younger talent, helping them in Impact, helping them with House of Hardcore, opening the school, like doing all that stuff, being on the indies. It's just Tommy Dreamer. He was the face of ECW. I don't give a fuck if he didn't do anything in WWE.
I think I know who the second person is that you're thinking of because I just thought of it before you mentioned ECW, and I was gonna say it, but Sabu.
No, that was a good one though. I didn't even think of Sabu, but that's another person.
Yeah,
that could go in. My second person was gonna be Bam Bigelow.
Oh,
not only
was
he in ECW killing shit,
he invented
WrestleMania 11 with Lawrence Taylor. Like he was in both companies, but in ECW he obviously did more and was a bigger. He was a Impact player, no pun intended. But I think he deserves to be in there. I think Tommy definitely deserves to be there. And I think you announce one of them and then this goes what I've been saying for years. I don't know how they don't have it yet. Your ECW wing. You have a wing for ECW. You put
just like everyone at once, like just one.
No, like every year you put in 2 or 3 guys.
Oh, like okay.
So this year you put in, let's say you put in Tommy and Bigelow, right?
Yeah.
Next year you put Raven, Taz, and Sabu. You know what I mean? And then you keep going. Of course, they're not gonna touch everybody because obviously some people don't got beef with them, you know.
Yeah.
But you keep doing that, you get your ECW win. Maybe RVD is the one to kick off the ECW.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like maybe, like I think at one point they're gonna end up putting Paul Heyman in there.
Oh, Paul Heyman should definitely be in there.
Like just for like ECW alone. That's it.
Yeah, definitely. He's someone that should definitely be in there. But I'm like, I've been saying this for years. I don't know how they don't have a WCW wing. Like I think that's awesome. Like you have
they don't. They have the NWO in this. I thought that kicked it off already for them. Maybe could be wrong.
What happened?
NWO is in it, so I'm assuming that's the way to kick it off. But they haven't done anything this year.
Oh, Bischoff, maybe
Bischoff kinda. Bischoff.
Yeah, but that's WCW.
What have you said? What did you say?
ECW wing.
Oh, I thought you said I thought you said and a WCW wing.
Oh no, yeah, and WCW. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Did it?
But I think they just. Year? But I think WCW. Most of the guys just came over already, and most of the guys that were in WCW were in WWF first.
Yeah.
So kind of like they're like
Same vice versa with ECW too. Like I guess you could say some people are there.
Most of the guys that were in WCW went to.
Another person that I could say that could be in a Hall of Fame. I mean, we kind of gone off topic with this year specifically, but like this could be a controversial one. I
love it. Let me hear it.
I think he should, like, based off what he's done, I think he should be in it. And
wait, am I gonna like this or am I gonna disagree with you?
Maybe I think you both. I think both for you. I think both because because in my opinion, he's been my favorite superstar. And I love him, and I think why not put him in there? CM Punk.
Yeah.
That's gonna be controversial.
Yeah, they won't touch that. They won't touch that.
I mean, I know he wanted to do more. I don't know what he's gonna. I don't know if he's gonna accept it. I don't think they're gonna want to put him in there. I don't know. Maybe they would. Maybe he will be consideration. But I don't see why not, in my opinion. I mean, like, I get it. He didn't want to do stuff. They probably hate him for that or something.
But yeah, especially that he talked all that shit after he left.
Yeah,
I think they won't touch it. You never know though, because Vince, people like Hulk Hogan, plot against him in the 90s about the steroid scandal, and he came open arms and let him back in. He's hosting WrestleMania this year.
Yeah.
So I think Vince looks at it. If you make him money, he'll make up with you.
He did come back from backstage, even though that's Fox hiring him instead of WWE.
Yeah, Fox hired him. Yeah.
I guess you could, because he's definitely not wrestling for sure again. No. So why not? You know what I mean? Like,
I think it would be dope. I think that would be a cool moment. Somebody that he deserves it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he does deserve it. Like I said, even if I know he didn't end the career like he wanted it to. It was just, I think what he's done already has been Hall of Fame worthy, in my opinion. Has been Hall.
No, definitely. I don't understand. I don't get the hate that he gets.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. People are always like, oh, he just left. He got up and left. I was like, yeah, like
there's a reason why.
If you don't fuck with a job, you gotta stay there forever. No, you're gonna quit. Same shit he did. Like he didn't like it, he quit. Many people have left before. His was just on a bad note, and then everybody was like, "Oh, CM Punk." And then I give it to him. He went. He tried the UFC. I give it to anybody that puts on gloves and steps in that cage. I don't care who you are. Go in there and know you're going in there. Like even that in boxing, you know you're going in there.
In the face.
Exactly. The guy across from you is trying to hit you.
For real. Like, it's not even.
Yeah, and
break a fucking bone. It's for real.
Yeah.
Oh, that's intentional.
Some guys might have the idea of, okay, tonight I'm going in the ring and I'm gonna win on points. Like you could have that mindset in boxing. UFC, you're like, I'm either gonna tap this guy out or I'm knocking him out. That's the two mindsets they have. Yeah. So I think for anybody to step in that octagon, I give them props. I just don't get the hate that I don't understand it. Maybe because I'm a CM Punk more. I fuck with CM Punk.
Yeah.
I don't get the hate. I don't get it.
Yeah, I fuck with him too, heavily, and I think he deserves it, in my opinion. I mean, the amount of like, from going from someone who's kind of Paul Heyman's guy, literally his guy he wanted to make the brand about at one point, till being a multiple time world champion. But even though it didn't go the way he wanted to, and could have done more with him, still had a great career.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
Had a great career. You could have done so much more with him, and they didn't. And
classic matches, classic feuds. Don't see why. I don't get why people hate. Like you said, I don't understand why people hate him. So
it's because he got up and left. But it's like many wrestlers have got. Stone Cold got up and left, and dipped like in 2002. You ever heard that story?
I think so.
Because they wanted him to lose to Brock on a random Tuesday. And his argument was, no, build it up for a pay-per-view. Like, I don't mind losing. I want to help build this guy. But you're going to have him lose. Like let's say you just turned on TV tonight, right? And it said, oh, tonight on SmackDown, Stone Cold versus Brock. Never heard of this match just till you put on the TV and Stone Cold loses. No, for that young talent to be a star like Stone Cold, you want to build that up. Exactly. You know what I mean? You like, I think it was a qualifier for the King of the Ring. That should be your King of the Ring final. Yeah, like, I don't get it. So he got up and left. Everybody had this, and they made up though. But like, I think like 2 weeks later, The Rock came back and talked about how Stone Cold took his ball and went home. And then, like, as a kid, I'm like, that's the same shit you did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just did it for money. You left for money. Same thing John Cena did. He left for money.
Yeah, literally.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
People leave. Either you don't like your job, or you're getting paid more, or something else that you want to do, like a movie or something. Yeah. Everybody leaves. Like, you can't be mad at one guy because he left because he didn't like the way it was. You know what I mean? I just don't get it. That was my little rant for today.
Yeah. That should be like a weekly segment. I'm permanently making that happen. Joel's weekly rant.
Doing that was my little rant. I don't get it. But that, going back to the topic, my number one pick will always be Owen Hart.
Okay.
I just don't understand why he's not in there. I know because it's family, but I think it would be nice for him to get acknowledged. I think it would be dope to just see him go into the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? And I think either if you have Brett say something, I don't know if they'll let his wife go on a mic for like a live mic because she'd be reckless. But I think it would be nice to see Owen Hart go into the Hall of Fame.
Hell yeah, me too. I mean, like you said, at least just throw him in the Nation of Domination.
Yeah, you know? Just throw him in there. But I feel like he should go in by himself. Like, that should be the headline name. It should be like, Owen Hart is finally going into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that would be a cool moment for everyone. Like, and have like some of the guys that were with him. Like, I know he was big with Mark Henry. You know what I mean? So like, have Mark Henry go out and introduce Brett, or other way around. You know what I mean? Like, do something that you have people that can actually tell stories about who he was as a person and all this other stuff.
Who would you put in there in terms of a non-wrestler?
A non-wrestler?
That's had an impact in the company. Like a manager, general manager, like just a random character.
I'm trying to think. I think one day Paul Heyman's definitely gonna be in there.
Yeah.
And Paul Heyman has deserved his spot. Like, he deserves that with everything he did in ECW and everything he does as a manager. I'm trying to think. Now I gotta look at the list.
This may be a hard one. Let me ask you this question though. Let's get off that topic of that one, because that was a hard question.
Yeah, that was a hard one.
What?
I'm trying to think. You go.
No, because I was gonna ask something completely different with
like,
get off that topic for a little bit. I was thinking about this the other day, like not the other day, but a while ago, before I even thought about this topic for today's episode. If let's say if the company for some reason just stopped being a thing, right? But they're still doing Hall of Fame ceremonies in the future every year, like once a year. Between the superstars that have only been in NXT, that include some NXT superstars now, but people on the main roster who were in NXT, who would you put in the Hall of Fame?
That deserves a Hall of Fame just for their time in NXT.
No, not from the time NXT till now, that were on the main roster.
I'm trying to think. That's another tough one.
Yeah. Who do you think that has had?
Of course, they're gonna put the women. Because they be all on top of them. They got the Charlottes, Sasha, Becky. Damn, that was a good question.
That is a tough one. Yeah, because I was thinking about that.
Do you have somebody?
There are a few that I could say that I could put in there.
Give me one.
This is an obvious one. Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
I mean, that was literally their guy since day one. That's the first NXT champion. You know, all the his past. You know, the time with the Shield. Another one that I've wanted to ask you, but I'll ask it later. You know, you have people like New Day, what I put in there, Big E and the New Day. I think Big E could have a potentially Hall of Fame career if he continues his single run. That's my opinion.
Definitely. Oh, I got one, but keep going.
I can say Roman, even though he was
easily they're gonna.
But he's been on NXT like literally once, but then I would still put him. Those are the three I can think of right now at the moment that could do that. Who are you gonna say?
I like Kevin Owens. I think Kevin Owens had a good. I think he had a good run in NXT. He had a good introduction. He had good stories while he was there. His call up was amazing. Coming out to John Cena, attacking him, then face John Cena, beat John Cena his first night and his first main roster match. He wasn't even called up yet, I don't believe.
Yeah, like it was full time. He was still NXT champion.
Yeah, because I think it was going back and forth.
Yeah.
And then by the time they had their second match, I think he lost the belt. Yeah. And then that's when they kept him there full time. He won the universe. He's technically the first Universal Champion. He held it the longest. You know what I mean? He held it more than 24 hours. Yeah. So I will give him the first. I don't care how many people want to say Finn Balor. Kevin Owens is my first Universal Champion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Stuff he did with Jericho. Just when he was in IC champ, when he was US champ. You know what I mean? Like he's just
that is true.
Done it all. He's always on top of his game.
That is true.
And then he came back and he had that feud. He had that. I think he had like a 2-month feud with Daniel Bryan for the title. Like when they were kind of like mixing him in with the Kofi storyline.
Yeah,
he capitalized on that. I think he's just. I'm also biased because I love Kevin Owens. Yeah. Like I love Kevin Owens, so I think he deserves. If he was to retire, I would say. I would put him in there. Wouldn't put him in there right away, of course. But I think down the line he would get in there.
Another person and / group that I can see myself put from the NXT era would be Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah. Especially with Bray and how he can go in by himself. Like just reinventing himself.
I'd even put him in a group with the Wyatt family. They put like Bray first or vice versa. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They can put separately. It doesn't have to be all together. Because I think all 4 of them, 5 of them.
Yeah, they all deserve it. Well, 3 of them. But I don't know if I would put
the
Strowman.
OG. Yeah, Strowman.
Yeah, I would put the OGs, the OG 3.
The OG 3?
Yeah, because by the time Braun came in, it was
they were already settled and big already.
Yeah, it was kind of already like going down.
Yeah.
Hill, kind of. Not down, like downhill, but like it was already losing a little bit of steam. Yeah. I think they tried to put him in there to build it back up, but it didn't help.
I mean, I liked it a little bit. I liked it a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was dope.
I think there was a point where they just made it more of like people can beat the Wyatt family point of view. It was more of a great thing for people to beat them rather than them beating up people, which was, I thought, the original plan for Strowman to come in and do.
Exactly.
And even just like at first, even though he was technically in NXT, he has an NXT signee, but he wasn't NXT. He never made his debut.
He was
in NXT.
never on NXT, right?
Yeah, no. He just debuted.
I remember when I saw him, I was like, "What?" Yeah. I was there when he debuted.
Yeah,
he debuted in Brooklyn. You were there?
Oh,
yeah,
really?
In Brooklyn. Yeah.
I remember watching.
Everybody
that
was like, "Who the fuck is this?"
I remember watching him. Like, what the hell is this guy doing?
I will say, I was there for the coolest. I always say this was the coolest moment and like one of the biggest pops I've heard in person. But I went to the Go Home Raw Mania 30, where they tied Cena to the ropes and the lights cut off and it comes back on and he has the sheet mask on. The pop that happened in Barclays Center was incredible. That was incredible.
The Go Home show was in Barclays. They usually do it.
Yeah. The same thing that was the same night that Taker threw Lesnar into the table at the end of the contract signing. I remember turning to my sister and I said, "He's losing Sunday." From then, I said he's losing Sunday because my sister bought it for my birthday. She was like, "Oh, this is your birthday gift." And I was like, "Oh, dope." It was like my first live Raw. And we went, and I remember turning to her and saying, "He's gonna lose on Sunday." And the guy behind me started laughing because he was like, "That's a fact. Nobody ever goes out on top on Monday and wins on Sunday." I said, "Exactly."
Have you ever?
If you ever think about it, whenever there's a go home and whoever is standing above the other person, they usually lose.
You got to find that guy that said that. He agreed with you.
Facts.
If he's listening, to this guy,
listen. We knew.
Yeah.
That was like the coolest Wyatt family moment, I think.
Yeah.
Also biased because I was there. Come on.
Speaking of Brock, I would definitely put him in the Hall of Fame. I would definitely put him in there, even though he wasn't really an NXT person. But I would put him in there just to go off
Brock. It's crazy the career he's had.
Yeah.
Because
he's not even. I mean, he's not in WWE right now. Yes, obviously, but I don't think he's done yet. I think he will go for another few more years.
No. I personally think he is still with WWE. People want to say he's not signed. When crowds return,
he's coming back.
Brock will be back. There's no spectacle to Brock right now.
There's gonna be so many returns happening when crowds come back.
What do you mean?
Like there's gonna be one return that I can guarantee, and I know for sure it's happening at Mania, but I don't know if he's gonna have a match. I hope Jeff Hardy has a match, because that return of his theme song is gonna be fucking
I'm
huge.
hoping it happens this year. I mean,
the crowds he did say when the crowds come back that theme song's coming back. The fucking first day of April 10th. I don't care what match it is. It could be a battle royal. I don't care.
Yeah,
as long as he has a match,
come out with that music.
Exactly. He better fucking promise that.
Keep that same energy.
Yeah,
that's a fact.
Yeah, oh my god, that would be a great
that song is incredible.
I know.
That song is incredible.
So I
now that you say it, I'm like, yeah, that song is lit.
Yeah, I know. I'm just playing it in my head right now. Shit.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking Brock could possibly come back at Mania.
But yeah, but like I was saying, Brock, just from his debut to his leaving in 2004.
Yeah.
That's a Hall of Fame career right there.
Yeah.
I would have put him in the Hall of Fame just for those 2 years and a half.
Yeah.
Like, I think he debuted the night after 18. 19, he main evented for the title.
Next night.
And then, I believe it was the night after 18.
That was when he debuted, or
I think that was when he debuted.
How long was it? He had only like a few months until he had his first championship.
See, now we're gonna look it up. Hold on.
Our weekly research look.
Brock Lesnar's WWE debut. I found it. Do they give me a date on it? Oh, time out before they try to March 18, 2002.
Damn.
When was WrestleMania 18? So maybe it was
before. Maybe it was before.
Maybe it was before WrestleMania 18. No, WrestleMania 18, March 17, 2002.
Oh, it was the night after.
See, that's what I'm talking about, man. Look at you questioning me. Look at you questioning me. But
I wasn't a fan around then, man. Give me a break.
But yeah, he debuted the night after 18. Went for the title at 19. Actually, he fought for the title at SummerSlam.
So there's a few months.
He fought The Rock. Yeah. Took the belt off of him. And that's when The Rock took his ball and went home. Well, went to Hollywood. My bad.
Brock gave him back. Brock made him leave.
Yeah, Brock took that was a good send off because that builds Brock even up more. Yeah, and I think that because that was the pay-per-view in Nassau Coliseum. For some reason, I remember a lot of the New York pay-per-views just because back then I was like, I wish I was there. But I remember he beat him. That was the main event, and then he lost it. When did he lose it? Survivor Series to Big Show. That was the big turn of Paul Heyman. Then we got Babyface Brock.
Yes.
We got Babyface Brock. That. And then
I always forget Paul Heyman was with Big Show. That was when he was doing. No, that was before the ECW stuff, right?
Yeah, that was before that.
Yeah, but because they were aligned then too, weren't they?
Yeah, then they aligned again. Yeah, but they aligned back then, and that was the whole thing. Oh, they aligned before when they in ECW. It was like, oh, when he was WWE champion, they were aligned. But yeah, and then he fought 19 for the title. Yeah, held the title till No Way Out. The pay-per-view right before 20. Eddie beat him, fought Goldberg, and then left. That's right there. Right there. Give the man Hall of Fame. Give the man Hall of Fame just based off of that.
I would induct him this year, honestly. I would give him that spot. I would totally do it if I were them. Even though he's still not really done, quote unquote.
Yeah.
I would do it either way.
And then just all that he did outside.
Yeah.
Went on to become UFC champion. Like it was like, it was kind of like the CM Punk effect. It was like, this guy's gonna try UFC. I was like, oh shit, he's a champ now. Yeah, and then came back.
Still did fucking amazing.
Did that crazy ass run that he's still on, and I think right there, Hall of Fame got written all over it. Yeah. I don't think he's the type that will ever talk and do a speech, so they might not give it to him.
That is true.
Till later in his life, maybe.
Maybe, I think at some point.
But I think right now he's not talking. But
that'd be funny. You know what'd be funny if Paul Heyman did a speech for him, kind of like
that would be sick. That would be sick.
Yeah, that would be sick.
But I definitely think he deserves it. I think he did. Like I said, I think he deserved it for those 2.5 years that he was there, or 3 years.
Yeah. Anything else you got to say on the Hall of Fame? Anybody else you would think will be in this year's Hall of Fame?
Nah. You have anybody?
I think we pretty much said everybody that I wanted to say.
I think we covered everybody. Yeah.
So
I'm gonna make a petition for the ECW wing. Everybody better sign that shit.
Yeah. I gotta do that.
We need that wing, baby.
I know. You have to. So before I wrap this episode up, for people listening to this, comment an individual on who you think will enter this year's Hall of Fame. That could be something to engage the followers. Make sure you comment that if you've made it this far. Just comment your superstar person in WWE who you think should be in this year's Hall of Fame. Once again, I am Nick, your host. With me as always, my co-host Joel. This has been episode 28 of the Ring Fanatics Podcast, and we'll see you guys next week.
Catch you.